Since 2019, Paul George has not had much playoff success. So today we're rewriting Playoff P's career from 2016 and saving his legacy so he can become, not a meme. Starting in the 2016-17 season where Paul George is looking to win his first championship. But aside from him, this Pacers roster is not great at all, so we're gonna need to do some trades to help him out. If we package Jeff Teague and Thaddeus Young, we can get DeAndre Jordan, who can be a big trade piece for us. Okay, that might have been the easiest flip ever. We just basically traded Jeff Teague, Thaddeus Young, CJ Miles, and a first to get Kemba Walker on the team. So now we have a really good duo in Paul George and Kemba Walker. We're just gonna need a third player to make it a big three. Also, we need depth. This team is terrible. We can trade Monte Ellis and Glenn Robinson to get Greg Monroe. He can be a really good trade piece for us. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try packaging him with Kemba just to see if any of these trades are good. We could get Blake Griffin. I wish he was a little younger. I feel like he is gonna drop in overall. We could also do this trade for Dragic and Whiteside. That's also kind of a win now trade. Gordon Hayward's here. And yeah, these trades are definitely something to think about. We have LaMarcus Aldridge, Eric Bledsoe, and John Wall here. I'm not going to trade for John Wall. He's only one overall higher than Kemba. But this trade for Dragic and Whiteside, I'm not going to lie, I'm doing it. But the plan's not to keep Dragic and Whiteside. We're going to try to do a crazy trade. I want to get Nikola Jokic. I doubt they're going to say yes straight up, but let's see. He is untouchable. So I got to throw something crazy at them. If we throw Dragic in there, the contracts don't match anymore. So we're going to throw them all these picks and see what they say. I doubt they're going to say yes just because he is untouchable. And we can only give them a maximum of 3 first-round picks. They're gonna say no to 2 and they also say no to 3. I wonder if there's a player I can throw in to make the contracts match. The only problem is they're all low overall except Miles Turner. And yeah, this is not gonna work, unfortunately. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought these trades for Whiteside would be better. There are some okay ones, but nothing crazy. So I think our best bet is trading him for a rookie Jamal Murray so we have our point guard of the future. 10 games into the season, we're gonna try to trade Dragic for one of the picks of these worst 4 teams. The Knicks are the worst team in the league. They either want Jamal Murray, Miles Turner, or Goran Dragic, and Goran Dragic is by far the oldest, so we're going to trade him away. But we also just traded for Joakim Noah, who has one of the worst contracts in the league. 4 years, $72 million is crazy. I'm going to see if we can get anything for him. I'm going to look at all the trades, but honestly, this one's worth doing just to get rid of all this money. But here's an even better trade. I don't know why the Rockets are giving up a first-round pick to take on this crazy contract. So now this team is absolutely terrible. Our third best player is a rookie. The Wizards want to give me a first-round pick for Aaron Brooks. I guess I'll take it because we're kind of tanking this season anyway. Steph Curry's going to average 37 to win the MVP. Ben Simmons wins the Rookie of the Year, almost averaging a triple-double. They also have the 6th Man of the Year in Jahlil Okafor, and Drummond put up 17 points with 18 boards a game. Jokic won MIP. I wish we had him on our team. But on the bright side, Paul George is going to make the All-NBA third team, averaging 30 points and 8 rebounds a game. And I was going to just check if he won the steals title. Westbrook averaged 40, 13, and 7. And Paul George won the steals title. It wasn't even close. But when I said we were tanking, I wasn't lying. It wasn't even intentional. It's just that the team was that bad that they finished with 31 wins. Obviously, the Warriors are going to win the chip. And in the draft lottery, we have the #1 overall pick. We also traded for the Knicks pick. They ended up with the 9th best odds. I don't know how our pick was #1 though. We were the 8th worst team and somehow jumped all the way to 1. I'm not complaining though. Let's hop into the draft. And this is the draft with Kuzma, Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Lonzo. There are a lot of good people we can pick. In this universe, Bam only has a starter ceiling. Markelle Fultz has All-NBA. I forgot about him. Don Collins, All-Star potential. Lauri Markkanen, All-NBA. Then we have Lonzo with All-NBA, Donovan Mitchell All-NBA, Tatum Hall of Fame, and then Kyle Kuzma All-Star. I honestly thought I was going to take one of these 3 guys with All-NBA potential, but with Tatum having Hall of Fame potential, I'm taking him. And then with pick number 9, let's see who falls to that. We have Bam still here, but he did have starter potential. This guy who was supposed to go #1 has All-Star potential. The fact that he's here at number 9, I'm not going to take him. Jonathan Isaac has All-Star potential. OG Anunoby has All-Star potential. And Josh Hart has All-Star potential, but other than that, this board is not too great. So I'm going to try to trade the number 9 overall pick. Wait, we can get Lonzo. Why can we do this trade? We could get Dragic back if we wanted, but I feel like trading for Lonzo is a no-brainer. He was the 4th overall pick, and now we're giving up the 9th pick and a future first to have him on our team. That felt a little too easy, so we have a 78 overall Jason Tatum. Kyle Kuzma going #2 is insane. And then we have 77 overall Lonzo Ball. Kevin Durant declined his player option, so did Chris Paul. That's kind of big. And Steph Curry is also a free agent. I'm just going to throw a max contract at him. And to give him a higher chance at accepting, I'm giving him a player option and a no-trade clause. And I'm going to do the same exact thing for Kevin Durant. And Chris Paul, why not? Hopefully we can get at least one of them. Kevin Durant went back to the Warriors, Chris Paul's back on the Clippers, and Curry went to the Magic. So now the best free agent is Jeff Teague. I may as well get him back on the team. We're kind of cooked though. We just need to fill out the roster. I'm just going to sign the best people. If anything, we can trade them. So now on to player progression. Paul George is up to a 92. Miles Turner's an 85, and Jamal Murray's a 79. But now it's time to reconstruct this team. I'm going to pair Derrick Rose and Darren Collison together. We could get Chris Middleton. We could get Dragic back if we wanted. The Lakers have a very good first round pick. And honestly, I'm going to test our luck and trade for that. Last year, they were the worst team in the league. They didn't even win 20 games. And their team isn't much better. They didn't have a pick last year because they traded it to the Sixers. So hopefully they're bad again. I do want to do some more trades though. Let's trade this G League guy. May as well just package him with the other G League guy. We can get Thaddeus Young and another first. I'll take that. And if we package Jordan Clarkson with Thaddeus Young, we can get yet another first. Darren Williams is on a 2-year deal, so I do want to get him gone. And we can get another first from the Knicks with a young player in Willy Hernangomez. And with all these picks now, I got a guy in mind I want to trade for. He's not untouchable, and it's Joel Embiid. He is 23 years old. We're gonna have to make our own trade. He's only making $6 million, so I'm probably gonna have to throw in Miles Turner to match the contract. They say he's valuable but not untouchable. I'm gonna throw them. Actually, do I want to throw them this Knicks first round pick? I kind of don't. I'll throw them the Clippers one. Then we have lottery protected picks that I don't really care for. We have 2 of our future first round picks that I don't really care to give up. So if we throw both of those in, they're gonna say no. And the final pick, I'll just make it this Wizards first round pick. They say no, so it looks like we're gonna have to throw in one of these valuable picks. The Lakers one is worth 3 stars, and then the Knicks one's 2.5. I'm gonna start with the Knicks one. They say no straight up. Then if we had the Clippers pick, they say no. Pick number 3, let's make it our first round pick from the future. They say no. If we throw a second one of our picks, they say no. And for the 5th and final pick from the Wizards, they're gonna accept it. So now we have a duo of 27-year-old Paul George, 23-year-old Embiid, who's only gonna get better, 20-year-old Jamal Murray, 19-year-old Tatum, and 19-year-old Lonzo. And we still have the Lakers first round pick from this year. LeBron's gonna win his 5th MVP. Lonzo's gonna win the Rookie of the Year, averaging 10 points and 9 assists a game. Dwayne Wade on the Bulls, this is disgusting. And the Cavs win 75 games. So I don't think we're gonna be able to make a playoff run this season. Westbrook probably had a crazy stat line again. He averaged 37, 12, and 7. And Paul George is gonna miss out on the All-NBA third team, but he still averaged 27 points a game. And as for the rest of the team, Joel Embiid averaged 22 and 11. Jamal Murray put up 17 points a game. Tatum with 14, and then Lonzo with 10. And the Pacers actually made the playoffs. They're sitting at the 5 seed, so they have to face the Bucks in the first round. I feel like we look like the better team, at least based on our starting lineups, but we are gonna lose game 1. Game 2, we're gonna blow them out though. Paul George had 43, Embiid also had 40, and Jamal Murray had 20. So game 3 is a big one. They're gonna beat us by just 4 points. Game 4, they win by about 10, and then game 5, we're eliminated. I mean, at least we made the playoffs. We had a way better season than last season, and the Cavs are gonna win the chip. Let me not skip the draft lottery this time. The Lakers, ooh, they have the 9th best odds. The last season, we had some pretty bad odds. We got the 1st overall pick, and this season, we're gonna stay at 9. I wanna see if there's a way we can move up to the number 1 pick, though. It's not gonna be easy, but it definitely is possible. I'm not giving up Paul George. Let's see, the Celtics have the number 2 pick. They also want Paul George. The number 3 pick is owned by the Hornets. They want Lonzo Ball. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna do this deal. I didn't really want to, but I will take Luka Doncic over Lonzo Ball. We just have to give them a first round pick 2 years down the line. So we have the number 1 overall pick, and we're gonna select Luka Doncic. And this wasn't even intentional. I didn't even realize we didn't actually give up our 9th pick. So while we're at it, I may as well try to trade for the 2nd pick. I don't want to give up Luka, obviously. We can trade a future first to move up to pick number 6. And with pick number 6, we can get the 3rd pick back from the Sixers. But the question is, can we move up to pick number 2? I don't know why this is a thing in 2K, but I'm accepting this trade. So now we have the 2nd pick. We have the freedom to do what we want. DeAndre Ayton has a Hall of Fame ceiling. I was thinking about taking Trae Young, who also has a Hall of Fame ceiling. So we could pair Trae and Luka together. Shea only has an All-NBA ceiling in this universe. And we might lose Embiid in the offseason. I hope we can keep him, but just because of that, I'm going to take DeAndre Ayton. Kind of crazy. We just got the first 2 picks in the 2018 draft. Shea ended up going 3rd. Maybe I should have taken him. But either way, I am super happy with these picks. Westbrook and LeBron are both going to decline their player options. Okay, wait. We have a qualifying offer for Embiid, so he's staying on the team. I thought he was going to leave. I may as well offer Westbrook. Okay, never mind. We have no money. I mean, that makes sense. Westbrook ended up signing to the Bulls, and LeBron's on the Timberwolves now. And the Mavericks offered to get Embiid, but we're going to keep him on the team, thank goodness. Wait, LeBron just signed to the Timberwolves. Why is he still here? I'm confused. He was just here having signed to the Timberwolves. I don't know what happened. And I guess LeBron went to the Spurs instead. That's kind of crazy. Boogie's also on the Nets. And we have our roster filled out. Paul George is dropping by 1 overall. Embiid's up to a 91 though. Jamal Murray is somehow all the way up to an 86. Jason Tatum's up to an 82. Even with us moving him to a power forward, his overall dropped from that. And then Luka's overall is only dropping because we made him a point guard. LeBron in a Spurs jersey looks so wrong. Luka's gonna win the Rookie of the Year, averaging 16, 6, and 8. And the Pacers are gonna win 72 games. That's crazy considering last year they were barely over 500. But now with LeBron joining the Spurs, we definitely have some competition. Assuming we make the finals, we have to play the Wizards in the first round. They look cool, nothing crazy. The Pacers win game 1 by about 15. They're gonna lose game 2 though. Game 3, they're gonna win by about 20. Game 4, they're also gonna win by about 20, and they make it out in 5. But in round 2, we have to face Westbrook. I forgot he went to the Bulls. But outside of him and Jimmy Butler, they don't look that good. Pacers take game 1 by about 30, game 2 by about 15, game 3 by about 20, and they're gonna sweep. And in the conference finals, we have to face the Raptors, who also look alright, but for a conference finals team, they don't look that great. With LeBron leaving the Cavs, they were able to beat them. They're gonna take game 1 and 2 from us. That's not good. Game 1, they beat us by 3 points, and in game 2, they win by 1. We are gonna need to lock in here. Game 3, we're gonna win by just 1 point. Why is every game this series so close? Embiid carried us. And in game 4, this one looks like a Pacers blowout. We're gonna tie the series up. So no home team has won yet. This time, Paul George is the one that went off. And in game 5, this one is a lot closer. The Pacers are running away with it in the third quarter, and they're gonna go up 3-2. And I don't know how they managed to do that, but after losing the first 2 games of the series, they're gonna win 4 in a row to make the finals. Paul George and Embiid are such a great duo. But in the finals, they're playing the Jazz, who ended up sweeping the Spurs. And this Jazz team is led by Gordon Hayward and Rudy Gobert. And in game 1, it looked like the Pacers had a chance. They just had a terrible fourth quarter though. In game 2, we have a 5-point game. If they make it a 1-possession game, we are gonna hop in, but it looks like it's gonna stay within 5. But after making it a 3-point game, the Pacers have to foul. Luka fouled out, fouling George Hill. That's not great. He's gonna knock down his first free throw, and his second one's good. So Indiana's gonna need a big shot here with just 17 seconds to go. They're gonna inbound it to Paul George, who uses the screen from Embiid, and he can't knock down the 3. So unfortunately for the Pacers, they're gonna go down 0-2 in the NBA Finals. Paul George and Embiid both had really good games. Jamal Murray also played good. I don't know what the problem is. Gotta be their defense or something. Yeah, the Jazz shot 54%. But in game 3, the Pacers are fighting back with a great second half. Good thing for them, they're up 2 and they have the ball. Luka being guarded by Elfrid Payton goes to Greg Monroe. Greg Monroe's gonna set a fake screen. I don't know what this offense is, but nothing is happening. They're gonna go to Paul George, who takes the deep post fade, and it's good. What a shot to put them up 4. I hate the fact that Greg Monroe is guarding Gordon Hayward, and he is gonna get cooked. Luka's looking for someone coming off the screen. It's Greg Monroe, of course. I don't know why they have him handling the ball, but he is gonna find Paul George open, and he can't hit the shot. Gordon Hayward on the break, trying to make his way past Greg Monroe. He's struggling to somehow, but now Derek Favors is gonna come set him the screen. He gets a wide open 3. He's gonna miss, but Derek Favors ties the game with a putback. No way the Pacers blow this game. They just need to steal 1 game on the road. Paul George is gonna kick it to Luka. Back to Paul George. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Paul George with the ISO, the behind the back. He is cooking. He makes his way into the paint, and his layup's good. It looked like he was doing a whole lot of nothing, but it somehow worked. Now we have Gordon Hayward going back at Greg Monroe. He's gonna run out to the 3. What is going on? He's not using any screen. He's just going straight ISO with 10 seconds on the shot clock. He spins his way into the paint for the shot. But now with the 3-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock, the Pacers could get the last shot here. 93% of people who watch me aren't subscribed, so make sure to subscribe to help me hit my goal of 35,000 subscribers. Paul George is gonna chew out the shot clock. He uses the screen from Embiid. I don't like that shot, and he's gonna miss it. And the Jazz have plenty of time to get a shot off here. 3 seconds to go. Luka's clamping up George Hill, but he leaves him space on the mid-range, and it's good. So the Pacers are gonna blow the game, and the Jazz take a 3-0 lead in the NBA Finals. Luka was guarding him so well up until that last second. He created all that space. And the Jazz are gonna use that momentum to sweep the Pacers, moving Paul George's finals record to 0-1. But with the team only getting better, we should make it back to the finals. Embiid's our best player now. Jamal Murray's up to an 89. Tatum's up to an 88. He's really like a 90 with his position at a small forward. And then Luka's an 86, really an 88 because he started as a small forward. And I'm not gonna lie, I forgot DeAndre Ayton was even on the team. He's gonna be one of the best backup centers in the league. And also, we picked up Kyle Kuzma. He was the 2nd overall pick, and I guess the Pistons just didn't want him anymore. Before we start the season, I do need a backup guard though, so I'm gonna pair Greg Monroe and CJ Miles to get one. The Kings are gonna offer me this 80 overall who averaged 19 last year, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna take this deal. But low-key, if we want to get better, we can run an 8-man lineup, which would take guys like Willie Hernangomez and Tyreek Evans out of the lineup, so I'm gonna try to trade them with Moncrief to get someone better. Okay, never mind. Trades with 3 guys are not the move, so I'm gonna try to do 2. Jalen Brunson's a 75, but in this universe, I don't know what it is with 2K, but he just does not progress. We're gonna take Derek Favors because he's the highest overall player here, and I'm gonna try to pair him and Moncrief to get a better guard. And these trades aren't anything crazy, but I'll take Malcolm Brogdon. And I might just keep doing the same method. We have our bench center, our bench forward, and our bench guard. I'm gonna trade Seth Curry and Mason Plumlee to get something. In this case, it'll be Clint Capella, and then I can pair Clint Capella and Kuzma to get a better forward. Or we can get this 3.5-star first-round pick. But that would leave us with no depth, so I'm gonna try to get like an 83 overall. I saw Middleton. Conley's here. He is 32 though. We could get DeAndre Jordan back. And those trades were alright, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to keep Kuzma just because he's only 24. Plus, we don't need Capella because we have Ayton and Embiid, so I'm gonna try to pair Capella and Brogdon together to get a guard. This same trade is here tempting me, and honestly, I'm just gonna take it. So now we just have to get Nerlens Noel, pair him up with something, and get our backup guard. First, I'm gonna get Steven Adams, and if we throw in a first, we can go from Steven Adams all all the way to Chris Middleton. We could get Melo if we wanted to. So now we can run a 9-man lineup with Luka at the 1, Jamal Murray at the 2, Paul George at the 3, Tatum at the 4, and Embiid at the 5. And then our backup center and DeAndre Ayton, our backup shooting guard and Chris Middleton, our backup small forward, power forward and Kyle Kuzma, and our backup point guard and Tyus Jones. Last season, we won 72 games. This season, I feel like we could be better. Westbrook's gonna win the MVP, almost averaging a triple-double. Zion just averaged 28. He averaged more than the MVP and won Rookie of the Year. Trae Young's a 6-man on Philly, and he still averaged 21 points a game. Kawhi's on the Heat now. He won the Defensive Player of the Year. And Trae Young also won the MIP. I guess technically we weren't better than last year. We won the same number of games. And I low-key wish we had Lonzo a little bit. He did average 18 and 12, but Luka still averaged 16 and 10, and he's gonna keep getting better. We had 3 people average 20 points per game or more, and now's our chance to make the finals. We have to play the Nets, who have Dirk Nowitzki, Boogie Cousins, and Kemba Walker. Dirk in any jersey other than a Mavericks jersey just looks crazy. And they got him wearing number 33. I had to fix that for him. That's much better. Game 1, we are gonna blow them out by about 40. Jamal Murray had a 50-point game. Luka had a triple-double, and Embiid had 26. This series should be a breeze. Game 2, we're gonna win by about 40. Game 3, we're gonna win by about 30, and we're gonna sweep. We had 3 people average 25 points a game that series. In round 2, we have to face the Wizards again, led by John Wall and Bradley Beal. They were the 8th seed last time we played them, so they have gotten a little bit better, but John Wall and Bradley Beal's overalls have not moved up at all. It looks like we're going to be able to sweep them. Never mind, they're going to take game 4, but we make it out in 5. And in the conference finals, we're going to be playing either a 6 seed or a 7 seed. We're going to play the 7-seeded Bucks, who have Giannis, but other than that, they do not look good at all. They have that Gregory guy who we traded for. They have Brunson, who doesn't really progress. They have Steven Adams, who I'm pretty sure we traded to them, and we're going to sweep them easily. So in the finals, we're either going to play the Suns or the Spurs, who have LeBron, and the Spurs win in 7. So in the bubble, LeBron has a chance to get another championship. Let's see if we can stop him. In game 1, this one was super close until the 4th quarter. The Pacers are going to win. And that's thanks to a 35 piece from Embiid. He absolutely filled up the stat sheet. Our team is so good that Tatum only averaged 15 points a game, but he shot 61%. Game 2 is also going to go to the Pacers. They're going to blow out the Spurs as Embiid, Paul George, and Jamal Murray all go off. Thaddeus Young having more points than LeBron is crazy. LeBron's averaging 30 in the playoffs, but so far in the finals, he is getting locked up. And the Pacers are going absolutely crazy. I guess they just want it more. They're going to go up 3-0. And I wonder who's going to win the finals MVP. This game, Paul George carried everyone, but I feel like Embiid and Luka definitely have a chance at it. And LeBron only put up 14. He's averaging 19 points and 6 turnovers a game in the finals. And in game 4, the Pacers are going to sweep the Spurs, making Paul George an NBA champion. But he's going to have to win more championships if he wants a finals MVP, because Embiid's going to take this one. I didn't even think about next season's draft. We have the Kings pick, which is projected to be the 2nd pick, and it drops down to 5. I want that number 1 overall pick though. With us at 5, I feel like it shouldn't be too hard to get. It's owned by the Thunder. They're not going to give it up. So we got to move on to pick number 2, which is owned by the Knicks. They just want us to give them a future first. I feel like that's an easy deal to take. But to move up to the 1st pick, they want us to give up Kuzma. Honestly, I don't want to do that. And I don't care too much if I get LaMelo or Anthony Edwards. So it looks like we're going to take Anthony Edwards. But our team is only going to get better from here. Luka's now the best player on the team. DeAndre Ayton is the same overall as Embiid. Jamal Murray's a 91. Paul George is dropping to a 90. Tatum is a 90. And now we have Anthony Edwards. I was able to sign this guy in free agency, and I think it's time to trade him and Middleton to try to get a better backup. If we include Kuzma in the deal, we can get Rudy Gobert. I'm going to do that. So now we have 3 really good centers. I am going to trade Gobert for something else. So with us needing a backup 4, I'm going to try to go out and get Jaren Jackson Jr. The only thing is we have to make the contracts match. They're not going to give me LaMelo. I doubt they're going to give me John Collins or Sabonis. So this trade might not be possible unless I throw in Naw because he's making less money. I still doubt they're going to want to take this. And we only have 2 first-round picks. I'm going to try throwing them at the Thunder. I doubt this is going to work though, and they say no. So instead of Jaren, let's just try to trade for his teammate John Collins. They will take the trade if I give them Harrison Barnes, who I didn't even know was on our team, and they're just going to throw me Davis Bertans. I'm going to take this trade. But now we do need a backup 3, so that's where Cameron Payne and Tristan Thompson are going to come in handy. And this is perfect. We can add Otto Porter Jr. to the team. So now we have the perfect 9-man lineup. Every single person in our starting lineup plus our 6-man's 90 plus. And then to round out the lineup, we have John Collins at the 4, Otto Porter Jr. at the 3, and Anthony Edwards to run the 1 and 2. Westbrook's going to win another MVP. LaMelo wins the Rookie of the Year. Trae Young 6-man of the year again, averaging 27 points a game. And Anthony Davis just averaged 32 and 13 to win the DPOY. The Pacers are going to win 74 games. I don't think they're the best team of all time, because if I remember correctly, the Cavs won 75 another season. But either way, we should be able to win a championship. We had 4 people average 20 points per game or more. And now that we have the play-in in the first round, we are going to be playing the Hawks. They were the 10th seed. I don't know how they made the playoffs. Their best player is Dennis Schroeder. This should be the easiest biggest sweep of all time. Game 1, we win by about 15. Game 2, we win by about 15. Game 3, we win by 40. And Game 4, we're gonna win. And the Raptors just blew a 3-1 lead to the Sixers. So instead of going up against Lowry and DeRozan, we have to play a prime Ben Simmons. I would have much rather played Lowry and DeRozan, I'm not gonna lie. But hopefully we can have some Embiid revenge. Game 1, we win by 1 point. Game 2, we win by 1 point. Game 3, we win by 1 point. What is going on? We're gonna sweep. And Game 4 was the only game where we didn't win by 1. In the conference finals, let's see if the Celtics blow a 3-1 lead. They're not going to. So now we have to play them. They're led by Jaylen Brown, Isaiah Thomas, and Lauri Markkanen. This is actually a really good team, I'm not gonna lie. I am surprised they aren't the second seed, but I guess Westbrook is carrying that team. The Pacers are gonna take a 2-1 lead, and we have a tie series. In Game 5, this one was close until the fourth quarter. The Celtics looked like they had a chance to come back, but not anymore. We had 3 people drop 25 plus. And in Game 6, the Celtics had an absolutely terrible third quarter. The Pacers are back in the finals. And in the finals, we're either going to be going up against Jokic or LeBron and Curry, who are on the same team now. The Jazz were up 3-1 on the Spurs. The Spurs were able to take Game 5, but the Jazz take Game 6. That's crazy. They still have Gordon Hayward, who won the finals MVP when they beat us. But now they replace Rudy Gobert for Nikola Jokic. But even with every player in our starting lineup being a 90 overall, we are struggling. We're only up by 2 with 2 minutes to go. George Hill's going to throw it down low to Jokic. At least he has Embiid on him, so he should be able to stop him if he takes a good shot here. Jokic is wasting time, though. He's going to kick it to George Hill. Luka gets caught on the screen. Jokic gets left open, but Embiid gets the closeout. I'm not going to lie. I totally forgot John Collins was on our team. He almost throws a turnover there, and Embiid is somehow getting clamped up by Jokic. He's going to take the deep hook, and it's in and out. On the other end, George Hill's going to go to Jokic. Jokic trying to make it into the paint. He does, and he makes the and one on Embiid, who fouls out. So now we're without Embiid, and Jokic is going to give the Jazz the lead. Luckily, we have DeAndre Ayton, who's the same overall as Embiid, so we're not really missing out here. Luka's going to kick it to Paul George with the in and out. He's going to go up with the layup and give the Pacers the lead. Thank goodness we have Paul George guarding Gordon Hayward and not Greg Monroe like from before. Paul George is going to play great defense and get the stop. On the break, we have Jamal Murray trying to make his way into the paint. He's going to get a turnover. The Jazz aren't going to take advantage of the fast break here. That is a moving screen from Jokic. They're not going to call it. Ball don't lie. So now with the Pacers having a 1-point lead, they're going to chew the clock out. 6-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. That screen from Tatum wasn't good, but Jamal Murray's left wide open and his three's good. That was a huge shot in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and now Jamal Murray leaves Josh Hart open. He's going to miss, and the Pacers win the game. Shout out to Jamal Murray. He only had 11 points, and he made 1 3, but it was the most important one of the game. Game 2, the Pacers are going to blow out the Jazz. They started to come back in the end, but it's too late. Embiid, of all people, almost had a triple-double. But in Game 3, the Pacers are down 1. If the Jazz win this one, it would be a super big win for them. Luka being guarded by George Hill. He's going to find Embiid in the post, trying to cook on Jokic. He gets an open layup. I don't know how he missed that. He got the space with the drop step, but he totally smoked the layup. Chris Middleton's going to go back to Kobe White. He uses the screen. Tatum's going to close out on the 3 and get the stop. Luka's going to use the screen from Embiid, who gets left wide open, and the Pacers take the lead. So now with just a minute to go, George Hill gets a wide open 3, but he's going to miss. Luka's going to find Embiid driving. He could have had an open 3 there. Instead, he's going to swing it to John Collins to Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's going to use the screen from John Collins, and he gets an open layup, but he bricks it. That would have been big to put the Pacers up 3. Instead, they find Middleton to Jokic to Hernangomez. They're just swinging the ball around. Kobe White on the ISO being guarded by John Collins. He kicks it back to Hernangomez, and now with just 6 seconds to go, they find Jokic to Middleton in the corner. He's going to drop the ball, and it's Pacers ball. So now the Jazz have to foul. Let's see if Luka can put us up by 3. Never mind, that dream is dead. So now let's see if he can at least put us up by 2. He's going to make the second free throw. But the Jazz have 18 seconds to get a shot off. They're going to inbound it to Gordon Hayward. We have Paul George on him, and he's going to chew out the shot clock. He's going to wait for the screen. Jokic's screen isn't great. Gordon Hayward's going to have to take a double contested mid-range, and the Pacers take a 3-0 lead. But the Jazz aren't done fighting, as they're going to take Game 4. They had 3 people put up 20. Meanwhile, we only had 1. And in Game 5, the Pacers had a terrible first quarter. Let's see if they can somehow make it close. And just like that, we have a 3-2 series. We got to lock in. Paul George not being in the top 5 scorers is crazy. He had 8 points. And across the board, we had way too many turnovers. And this series might be going to 7 if the Pacers don't lock in right here. Chris Middleton almost threw a turnover there. They're going to go back to him being guarded by Tatum. He swings it to Josh Hart. Jokic is going to come set the screen. It's not a very good one. Embiid gets the tip, but he can't get the stop. So now down 4. A score would be big here for the Pacers. Paul George is going to pull the 3, and he knocks it down. We got playoff P in action. Now let's see if we can get some playoff D, as he's going to get the steal. He has Tatum on the break. He is going to find him. Tatum's going to take the layup over George Hill, and the Pacers go up. Let's see if Paul George can do it again with some good defense on Gordon Hayward. I don't know why he just ran around in a circle. He is going to body him, though. And now with just 5 seconds to go on the shot clock, they find George Hill to Kobe White in the corner over Jamal Jamal Murray his threes off, so the Pacers can extend their lead. They had Tatum there on the cut. Instead, they're going to run a pick and roll with Paul George and Embiid. The screen doesn't really get Paul George anywhere, and now with 9 seconds to go, he needs to do something here. He's getting clamped up. He finds Luka. 5 seconds to go. Embiid comes to set the screen. Luka pulls the mid-range, and it's good. So now the Jazz have a full shot clock to get a shot off here. They don't need a 3, but it would tie the game as Gordon Hayward makes the layup. But the Jazz have to foul. Let's see if Jamal Murray can knock down both of these. He's going to sink the first one, and his second free throw's good. Jazz have no timeouts left. They do have 19 seconds to get a good shot off here, though. And with them running out of time, they might need a 3 as Gordon Hayward drills it. He pulled that with no hesitation, and now with 10 seconds to go, Luka's going to need to lead us here, sizing up on George Hill. 4 seconds to go. Tatum's going to run away. Luka finds Jamal Murray kind of open, and he knocks it down with 0.2 to go. And that's going to be the shot to win the NBA Finals in Game 6. So Paul George is now a 2-time NBA champion, but this time Luka's going to be the one walking away with the Finals MVP. Paul George couldn't be happier though, because he has 2 more championships than he does in real life. In player progression, Luka's up to a 94, DeAndre Ayton's a 93. We have Embiid, Jamal Murray, and Tatum all at 91s. Paul George is dropping down to an 88. He's still been really good every single season though, and with us getting some decent free agents, we're going to try to improve the team even more. I'm going to try to package Otto Porter Jr., Derek Favors, and Dylan Brooks to get a better forward. Those trades weren't anything good. I'm just going to try a bunch of different trade packages. I'm going to trade these 3 guys for Julius Randle, and if we package Randle with Otto Porter Jr., hopefully we can get like an 84. I was going to say an 84 forward, but honestly, I'm going to take this Schroeder deal and flip him. We already have Anthony Edwards as our backup guard, so I don't need Schroeder. And there we go. We can get Josh Hart to be our backup. If we move him to a small forward, he goes to an 85 overall. And honestly, that makes me want to trade him. We also got this center that I don't need, and we can trade those guys up to get Mitchell Robinson. If we package Mitchell Robinson and Derek Jones Jr. from the deal we just got, we can get Shea. Why is this trade even here? We can also get Jaren, but we don't need a center, and we have John Collins, so we don't need a forward. So I guess Shea is the move that is kind of crazy, but Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, welcome to the team. So now with us having Shea and Anthony Edwards, I'm just going to move Anthony Edwards to a small forward and call it a day. So now off the bench, we have Joel Embiid, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, John Collins, and Anthony Edwards. Luka's going to win the MVP, averaging under 20 points a game. Trae Young is still a 6-man in Philly. Bruce Brown, of all people, just won the most improved player, and the Pacers get worse, winning 72 games. In round 1, the Pacers have to play the Cavs, who still have Kyrie and Kevin Love. I feel like this is not going to go well for them. Never mind, they're somehow going to win Game 1. Game 2, the Pacers blow them out. Game 3, the Pacers win by 12 points. Game 4, they're going to win by about 30. They're not able to win in 5, but they're going to win in 6. That had me scared for a second there. Now they have to play Giannis and Mike Conley. At this point, Mike Conley is older, so he isn't as good, and this feels like real life where the Bucks supporting cast just isn't doing anything for Giannis. They're going to get swept. But now in the conference finals, we have to play the big 3 again of Jaylen Brown, Lauri Markkanen, and Isaiah Thomas, and they have Mitchell Robinson now, who we gave them. There goes nothing. Game 1 is going to go to us by 14. Game 2, we're going to blow them out. Game 3, we're going to blow them out. We're not able to sweep. They're going to win Game 4 by 4 points. They're going to win Game 5 by about 15. We're going to make it out in 6, and we have a rematch against the Jazz. Also, the 8th-seeded Spurs with LeBron and Curry went from the play-in all the way to the conference finals as a 9th seed. That's crazy. They almost made the finals after being under 500. But now we have to face Jokic and Gordon Hayward again. They have Dennis Schroeder now, who I'm pretty sure we gave them. And Paul George is worse, so the Jazz actually have a chance, but the Pacers are going to take the first 2 games. Game 3, the Jazz win by 12. Game 4, the Pacers go up 3-1. And in Game 5, they're going to blow out the Jazz to complete the 3-peat. And of course, Luka's going to walk away with the Finals MVP after winning the regular season MVP. He averaged 12 points a game in the Finals and still won the Finals MVP. Wow, Paul George really could have had it if he averaged more rebounds and assists. Jokic is going to decline his player option after losing in the Finals. That's basically what Dame did to Paul George. And unfortunately, with us signing Embiid, Ayton, and Luka, we're going to have to lose Shea. In player progression, Luka's now at 96. DeAndre Ayton's an 85. Embiid is somehow going up after dropping before. Then we have Tatum and Anthony Edwards also going up, and Paul George keeps dropping. But at this point, we're just here to get him rings. He's been averaging around 20 points a game, so he's still solid. And now that we lost Shea, I'm going to move Anthony Edwards back to a shooting guard. I was going to do this trade to get a better backup small forward and bring Otto Porter Jr. with the first round pick back, but instead I'm going to do this trade because we get a 3-star first round pick, and it looks like we can still bring Otto Porter Jr. back, and we're going to continue to upgrade our small forward. We can get Kevin Huerter. Zion's going to win the MVP averaging 35, and we're going to win 73 games. Luka's going to finish 5th in MVP averaging 21, 7, and 12. Curry's still on the Spurs, but LeBron left him to join the Warriors. Funny because they're playing each other in the play-in. First of all, let me make LeBron number 23. I'm not going to lie, I snatched it from Draymond. And in the first round, we have to face the Knicks led by a young Jalen Green. He averaged 21 in just his 2nd season, but the fact that he's their best player is kind of concerning for the Knicks. I doubt they have any chance against us. We're going to go up 3-0 on them. We're not going to be able to sweep They actually blow us out in game 4, but we win in 5. And now we get to play the Bucks, who have Shea. I wish he was still on our team. So here goes nothing. Game 1, the Bucks are going to take by 3 points. Game 2, we win by about 35. Game 3, we win by just 3. Game 4, we're going to win by 10, and we make it out in 5. So that takes us to the conference finals, where we have to face a 6-seeded Raptor team led by Boogie and Cade. At this point, Lowry is older, so he's still solid. They are going to take the first 2 games from us. This is not good. Our 4-peat is on the line. We're going to win game 3 by 8, but we lose game 4 by 1. Game 5, we win by 16. And in game 6, we have a pretty big lead going into the 4th quarter. We're going to blow them out and force a game 7. Paul George led the team in scoring. And in game 7, it looks like we have another blowout. We just need to hold this lead for another quarter. We're up by 10 with 2 minutes to go. I think we have this one in the bag. We do. We're going back to the finals. So the Raptors just blew a 3-1 lead. There's another game 7, Nuggets versus Pelicans. So we're either going to go up against AD or KD. On paper, I think the Pelicans look better, even though they are a 5 seed, and unfortunately, we're going to be playing them. I'm not super concerned though, because we do look like the better team. We're going to win game 1 by 25, game 2 by about 30, game 3 by 12. We're not going to be able to sweep them. But in game 5, we're going to blow them out to win Paul George his 4th championship in a row. And Luka's legacy is also going crazy as he wins his 3rd finals MVP. Nice. That pick we traded for has the 13th best odds, and we're going to stay at 13. But I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the number 1 overall pick here to get Wemby. Pick number 1 is owned by the Hornets. They want Embiid for Wemby. Why do I kind of want to do this? Embiid's been good for us. He has moved to a backup in the last 2 seasons though. And I'm guessing he's going to start getting worse because he's 29 years old. So I'm going to trade him for the 1st overall pick. So Victor Wembanyama, welcome to the team. And while we're at it, let's try to trade up. We could get the 9th overall pick if we trade a future first. And that pick was top 3 protected, so I don't really care about it. We can trade another future first to move up to 6. Let's call the Pistons up for number 2. I'm not giving up Wemby or Paul George. The Thunder have number 3. We can give up a lottery protected pick for it. And honestly, I'm fine at 3. I'm just going to take whoever the Pistons don't. They're going to take Brandon Miller. We have a bunch of trade offers for this pick. They want to give us Kawhi Leonard. He's been really good, and he's won a couple defensive player of the years too, I think. If it wasn't for his age, I would definitely trade this for Dame. But I'm going to keep the pick. We could either draft Scoot, who has all NBA potential, a man who also has all NBA potential, or Asar, who has it too. And with us not having a backup point guard or small forward at the moment, I feel like I can't go wrong here, but I'm just going to go with my gut and take Scoot Henderson. So this is our 2nd draft where we have 2 top 3 picks. So now we have Wemby and Scoot Henderson joining Luka and Ayton. Jamal Murray's going to decline his player option. Okay, good thing I got Scoot. I didn't even think he was going to do that. We still do have his bird rights though. I am going to offer him a contract. We're not number 1 on his list though, so I am going to need to pay him more money, but I can't do it today. We might be cooked. Yeah, we're cooked. He's in assigned to the Jazz. So now in player progression, a lot of people stopped going up, but Anthony Edwards is an 88 now. Paul George is unfortunately down to an 83. He's still been good, but in order to win him more championships, it's time to finally move Tatum back to a small forward and John Collins be our starting power forward with Paul George coming off the bench. Now we just need a backup point guard. First, I'm going to get Otto Porter Jr. back again because he's an 82 overall. Then if we pair him with this other guy, we can get Sadiq Bey in a 1st. And as a Heat fan, I really don't want to do this, but this trade can get us Terry Rozier. Please, Trade Finder, give me something. I want to flip Terry for a better backup point guard. I almost took this trade for Cameron Payne just because they're the same overall, but good thing I kept looking because now we have Tyrese Halliburton on the team. Also, I just realized we traded him from the Kings to the Pacers just like real life. I just got offered Shea for Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is 22. He's averaging 26 points a game. He really just took Jamal Murray's spot. Shea's averaging 17. He's 25. So yeah, Anthony Edwards is 3 years younger. He's only 1 overall worse, so I'm going to have to decline the trade. Are we serious? They're offering me Victor Wembanyama for James Wiseman. I'm not going to lie. I almost took James Wiseman over Anthony Edwards just because in 2K he is really good. And I know Wemby as a rookie is not really playing. I mean, he's playing 24 minutes a game, better than I thought because he's an 84 as a rookie. But still, he's going to be better than James Wiseman next season. They're desperate. They just offered me Anthony Edwards for Shea again. Zion's going to win another MVP averaging 40 and 10. Amen Thompson's going to win Rookie of the Year. Donovan Mitchell is a 6th man in Dallas. Donovan Mitchell's a backup because of John Morant. And Anthony Edwards wins the MIP going from 12 to 26 points a game. We're going to win 70 games. And we have 2 players on the All-NBA team. Luka averaged 27 and 13. And DeAndre Ayton averaged 23 and 13. Shout out Jamal Murray for letting Ant break out. He is on the Heat now. He didn't really average that many more points. And honestly, I'm glad we kept Anthony Edwards over Shea. And in his first season off the bench, Paul George is down to 11 points a game, but he still has amazing efficiency. Now let's see if we can go for this 5P. In round 1, we have to play the Cavs. They still have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Game 1, we win by 22 points. Game 2, we win by 25. Game 3, we're going to win by just 6 points, and we're going to sweep them. Round 2, we have to play the Hornets, who have Joel Embiid, and they have Lonzo Ball, so they have the wrong Ball brother. And with Embiid leaving us, he got a lot better. Here goes nothing. Game 1 is going to go to the Hornets. They win by 11. Game 2, we win by 12. Game 3, they're going to blow us out. That's not ideal. We tie the series up, though. And in game 5, we went crazy in that second half to take a 3-2 lead. All thanks to Anthony Edwards dropping 31 and Luka dropping 27 points with 16 assists. And in game 6, this one looks like it's over at halftime. We just had such a good first quarter and we're gonna make it out in 6. Anthony Edwards had 35, Ayton had 34 and 23, and Luka almost had a 30-20 game. But now in the conference finals, we have to play a 6 seed. Oh, they just casually have LeBron James, Cade Cunningham, and Boogie Cousins on their team. I'm kind of scared, I'm not gonna lie. Game 1, we're gonna win by 17. Game 2, we win by 26. Game 3, we're gonna win by 6 points. We're not able to sweep. They blow us out in game 4, but we make it out in 5. And we're either gonna play a duo of Steph Curry and James Harden or Kevin Durant. And it's gonna be Kevin Durant and the Nuggets. So now we have battle of the 1 seeds, a 70 win versus 60 win team. We're gonna blow them out in game 1. We win game 2 and 3. And this might have been the easiest final series so far, as the Pacers are gonna sweep and Paul George becomes a 5-time champion. And Luka's gonna win finals MVP number 4. In the draft lottery, we have 2 picks, the 6th best and the 12th best odds. And we're gonna drop to 7 and stay at 12. But we do have a lot of first round picks. But this is the Ricochet draft, so we're gonna try to trade these picks for next year's draft. In player progression, Luka's a 97 now, Tatum's a 94, Anthony Edwards is a 91, and Wemby's already in the 90 overall club. Scoot Henderson's also an 83 after not playing last year, and we might have to trade Hallie, who's not getting any better. As for Paul George, we're not gonna talk about that. But at this point, we're just here to add to his resume of 5 straight championships. I don't know how this is a trade we can do, but if we throw these 2 guys at the Blazers, they're gonna give us Amen Thompson. And now to get a power forward who's younger and under contract for 4 years, I'm gonna trade for PJ Washington. I don't know why he's a small forward. Let's move him to power forward center. And now to get an even better power forward, I'm gonna try to trade for Scotty Barnes. This is not gonna be easy. I definitely have to throw in PJ Washington. I'm gonna try to throw in Jalen Brunson as well. They think they're a championship contender, but we do have all these first round picks. We're gonna start from the bottom, throw our 2029, then we got our 2028 first round pick, our 2027 first round pick. They still say no. What about another team from 2027? They don't want it. So instead of that, let me try to find an expensive pick. A lot of these are 2 stars, but I want one with like 2.5. I don't think we have one. We have a top 3 protected 2.5 star. They say no. We're gonna leave that in there and try to find another expensive one. We might be cooked. A lot of these are just 2 stars, so for now, we're just gonna take the 1.5 star ones out. I'm gonna try to replace those with 2 star and see what they say, but I still feel like it will be no, and they don't want to give him up that easily. So instead of Scotty Barnes, I'm gonna try to get Lauri Markkanen. He's making 19 mil, so if I throw in PJ Washington, they also think they're a championship contender. I'm gonna throw Brunson in there as well. We don't really need him. And then I'm gonna try all these first round picks. They're gonna say no to 1 pick. They're gonna say no to 2. What about 3 of our first round picks? They're gonna accept it. So now we have Lauri Markkanen as our starting forward. And to round out our bench, we have Wemby, we have Scoot Henderson, we have Amen Thompson, and Paul George. Luka's gonna win another MVP, averaging 16 points a game. And the Pacers win 73 games. DeAndre Ayton's up to the All-NBA second team, averaging 22 and 12. And he was second in Defensive Player of the Year voting behind Chet. At this point in Paul George's career, he is hanging by a thread. He averaged 4 points a game. His efficiency was not great, but let's see if he can tie Jordan and win championship number 6. Round 1, we have to face the Pistons led by Jalen Suggs. Also, they offered me Jalen Suggs for Wemby. I didn't even show it because of how disrespectful that was. And we're going to sweep them. Round 2, we have to face the Celtics. We took Lauri Markkanen from them. We did give them a lot of picks, so we do have to look out for them in the future, but now I feel like we should be able to beat them easily. They're going to win game 3 and 4, but in game 5, the Pacers are going to lock in and win every single quarter. Anthony Edwards led the way with 24. We had 4 people drop 20, but in game 6, we have a 7-point game. We have a 6-point game. Pacers are going to go up 8. They go up 10, and they're going to win the game. All thanks to a 30-piece from Anthony Edwards and a 20-assist game from Luka. In the conference finals, we have to play a 6-seed Magic team led by Mobley, and I'm assuming we're going to beat them, and if we do, we have to play a 6 or an 8 seed in the finals. That is very strange. Game 1, we win by almost 30. Game 2, we win by like 25. Game 3, we win by 12. We're going to sweep, and we have to face the Pelicans with Scotty Barnes and Anthony Davis. They actually look like a really good team with their worst player in their starting lineup being an 87. I don't know how this team was a 6 seed. They have some decent depth too. I'm kind of scared, I'm not gonna lie. Game 1, we're gonna win by just 6 points. Game 2, we win by 7. Game 3, we're gonna win by 4. And every game was close until that final one, as the Pacers blow out the Pelicans to complete the sweep and the 6P. So Paul George is now a 6-time NBA champion, and Luka is a 5-time finals MVP. Well, we have a bunch of picks. We have the 6, 7, and 10th best odds, and we're gonna drop to 7, 8, and 10. But now with all these first round picks, I'm gonna see what it takes to get the first pick. This should be pretty easy to trade for. They want Lauri Markkanen straight up, but instead, let's just try to trade for pick number 2. They also want Lauri. The Mavericks have the 3rd pick. They want Lauri and Lauri. Everyone wants Lauri Markkanen. Do the Thunder want him? They don't want anything. So I guess we have to trade from 7 to 5, or I guess we can give up 8 and 30. But before we do that, let me check. Yeah, the other trade as Lowry. So we're doing this first one. So can we go from 5 to 1? I mean, we can, but I'm not going to give up Lowry. What about 5 to 2? It's going to work. We just have to give up either pick 23 or Paul George, which is not happening. So we're going to do the first trade. And now let's call up the Clippers again. Pick number 2. They just want pick number 10 or 25 with Paul George. I'm not trading Paul George. I'm not trading Lowry, and I'll trade Dalton Connect. We got him in one of these trades to get a first round pick, and he's only a 71, so I'll give him up easily. But now I'm going to call up the Clippers again to try to get the second pick. Okay, never mind. They want the first pick. Let's call up the Mavericks. Let's call up the Thunder. Okay, we can trade pick 7 and 10 to get pick number 4. I'm doing that. And now can we go from 4 to 2? They want pick number 1, Paul George, and this Lenny Wallace guy. I think we got him from the Clippers. We did. So I'm just going to give him back to the Clippers. So now we are looking really good. With the first pick, we're going to take Cooper Flagg. And with the second pick, we're going to take Dylan Harper. I still have these picks. I could get VJ Edgecombe if I wanted to. And low-key, I don't really want to, but I feel like why not? Okay, we're not giving up Paul George, Dylan Harper, or Lowry. I'm going to try to trade to pick number 6. They want Lowry. Pick number 7, there's no offers. Same with 8. Pick 9 is owned by the Blazers. Nothing. I'm going to call the Thunder back up. Number 10, there's nothing. We might be cooked here. Pick number 11, they want Paul George. Pick number 12. Okay, we can trade 16 to 12. And none of the teams are budging, so I'm going to have to make my own trade. We're going to throw in the 12th pick. They're going to say no. Yeah, we're not giving up Dylan Harper. We're going to throw in pick number 17 with that. If we throw in pick number 18, they say no. What about pick number 25? They're going to say no. But we still have a lot of picks. Let's give them a 2028 first. They say yes. We have 26 offers for this trade, and I'm definitely going to have to consider these because I don't really care for VJ Edgecombe. We could get Patrick. Oh, never mind. Paul George is in the trade. I wasn't going to say we can get Patrick Williams because in this universe, he's pretty good, but I don't want to give up Paul George, obviously. We could get John Collins back on the team, and honestly, I'm just going to do that trade. So we're going to walk away with Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, and John Collins. Luka's going to decline his player option after 5 straight finals MVPs. I'm going to give him the max for him to come back. And thank goodness he is going to agree. So we have Luka back. That was scary. So now in player progression, Luka's going to stay at 97. DeAndre Ayton's dropping. Wemby's up to a 93. We have John Collins back. We signed Terry Rozier. Scoot Henderson's only up 1. That's kind of concerning. And then Amen's only up 2. And as for Paul George, I'm scared to see his new overall. He's down to a 75. And with Wemby and DeAndre Ayton being such high overalls, I was going to move Wemby to a power forward, but honestly, DeAndre Ayton has A- perimeter defense, so I'm going to move him to the power forward. And with Scoot Henderson and Amen Thompson not progressing like they should, I'm going to see what I can get for them. We can get Jaylen Brown. That is kind of crazy. We can get Markelle Fultz, who's been averaging around 20. Okay, never mind. I don't want Jaylen Brown. He's not averaging any points. We could get Patrick Williams if we wanted. Kobe White is here. He averaged 21. Brandon Ingram is here. He's a 90 overall. The only problem is we would have to give up John Collins. If Brandon Ingram was at 28, I would do this. I think instead, I'm going to trade for Kobe White, but I low-key feel bad doing this. Like, what if Scoot and Amen go up by like 3 or like 5 next year? I don't really know what's going to happen, but because we're a win now team, I feel so stupid doing this deal. I'm going to do it. I'm not thinking twice. I'm not going to overthink. I'm just going to do it. And to get an even better backup big, I'm going to trade for Bol Bol. His rebounding numbers are around where John Collins are, but his scoring numbers are way better. And he's like 5 inches taller. I'm going to see if we can upgrade though, either Bol Bol or Kobe White. And this feels like a crazy trade. We can trade Kobe White for Josh Giddey, who's 2 years younger. He is 1 overall lower, but he's on a 4-year deal as opposed to a 2-year deal. Or we could trade for D'Lo. He is 29 though. And Jaden Ivey. I would do this, but he is on a 1-year deal. So Josh Giddey, welcome to the team. We still have a good amount of depth to upgrade Bol Bol. It just depends on if there are any trades out there. And honestly, I think this is the move. I'm going to trade for Patrick Williams, and then I'm going to make Lauri Markkanen a center. And we can trade Josh Giddey and Patrick Williams for Brandon Miller, who I should have picked over Scoot. But now we can get him on the team. He averaged 23 in just his 2nd season, and he won the most improved player. So that's a really good trade right there. And now with Malik Monk as our backup guard, I can replace him for a better Malik. And this worked out perfectly. We're going to be able to get Kobe White back on the team. So now after that little masterclass I just did, we have Lauri Markkanen, Brandon Miller, and Kobe White to round out our bench, meaning the worst player in our lineup is an 89 overall. And Paul George, I know you're not in the lineup anymore, but let's go get ring number 7. Luka's going to win another MVP averaging 19 and 14. Bol Bol's going to win the 6th man of the year. Maybe we shouldn't have traded him. And Amen's going to win the most improved player. But I mean, we're the best team of all time. That means we should be able to make it to the finals easily, right? We're going to sweep the Cavs in the first round. Sixers, we lose a game to. So I'm going to take it game by game in the conference finals. I don't even feel the need to look at who we're going up against, and we're going to sweep the Bucks. But in the finals, we're playing the 2nd seeded Pelicans, so they've gotten even better. They still look super well-rounded. So we're also going to take this one game by game. Game 1, we just dropped 170 points. That is insane. We won by 40 47 points. Game 2 is another blowout. We win by almost 30. Game 3, we're going to lose though. Game 4, we win by 4. And in Game 5, the Pacers blow out the Pelicans, making Paul George a 7-time champion. So Luka's going to tie Michael Jordan with his 6th Finals MVP. In the AJ Debonsa draft, we have the 3rd, 4th, and 12th best odds. We're not going to move into top 3. But the bright side is we can move up there with trades. Pick number 1. Let's see what the Grizzlies want. They want Tatum, Ant, or Cooper Flagg, who I'm not going to give up. I actually thought about that. He didn't play in his rookie season, but he's probably going to be up to like an 87. So I'm going to keep him on the team, but pick number 2, we can easily trade up to. I'm not even going to look at the other trades. Pick number 3 is owned by the Thunder. We can also trade up to this one. And while we're at it, I'm going to try to trade up to other picks. Okay, I'm not going to give up Kobe White. We can get pick number 10 though. I'm going to try to make my own trade for the number 1 overall pick. We have pick number 10. They're going to say no. They want this crazy pick from the Lakers. And I want to say that's either the 2nd or 3rd pick that we have. I'm not going to give that up. I want picks 1, 2, and 3. They still want this pick. What if we throw in pick number 18? Okay, no counter offer. That's kind of good. Number 21, they're going to say no. But we have our 2030 first round pick they say no to. We have a 2027 first round pick. They're going to accept it. So we have pick number 1, 2, and 3. Pick number 1, I'm taking AJ. Pick number 2, I'm taking Darren Peterson. And with pick number 3, I'm taking Cameron Boozer. That is insane to have the first 3 picks in a draft. And our team is about to be stacked. We don't have to do a single thing in free agency. Luka's dropping to a 96. He's still amazing though. We have so many people in the 90 overall club, including Brandon Miller now. Cooper Flagg's up to an 87. Dylan Harper's an 83. And Paul George is just on some Udonis Haslem vibes. So we already have the best player in the league, but now with a bunch of these young players on the roster, we're going to try to trade for some of these other guys. The first guy we're going to try to get is Scotty Barnes. We tried to get him before, and now we have the assets, I think. But do we have enough to make the contracts match? I did not think about that. So instead of Cooper Flagg, let me throw in Kobe White. We still have to make up 14 mil. I'm going to test the waters and throw Darren Peterson in there. I feel like we're getting fleeced if we do this trade. They're not going to accept it. And I forgot, we traded all our picks away. We don't have that many more, but we do have the players. They're going to say no to 2 first-round picks. If we throw in a 3rd, they say no. And if we throw in a 2nd, they say no. So instead of Darren Peterson, what if I throw you guys Dylan Harper? They say no. Instead of Dylan Harper, what if we go AJ Debonsa? He should be, bro, I guess we got to do it. We got to throw in Cooper Flagg. He's an 87 overall. I'm really trading an 87 and an 89 for a 93, but Paul George is going to retire soon, so we're going to do this deal. We are not done though. The next guy we're going to try to get is Chet. Making the money match is really the hardest part. I'm going to have to give up Lowry and make up $20 more million. So we're going to have to throw them Boozer and another prospect. Let's go Boozer and Darren Peterson. Then we're going to, bro, this feels like such a fleece. I'll just take their lowest overall player. If they don't accept this, we don't have that many picks. 2 seconds. I doubt this is going to make a difference. But what if we replace Koa Pete with CMB? They still don't accept. Let's go Isaiah Thomas. He's only 1.5 star value and they're going to accept. So we got fleeced on all these trades, but we are a lot better. Paul George is definitely going to retire soon because he is a 72 overall. And we still have AJ and Dylan Harper to trade. And we got to go for one of the top guys making $30 million a year, but all of them are the high 30s, the low 40s. We could try Ja Morant. I don't know if the money's going to match though. So let's go over to the Mavericks, choose Ja Morant. Then we're going to throw in Dylan Harper. We're going to throw in AJ Debonsa. We still have to make up 7 mil. I don't know if that's possible. Okay, that's not going to work. $32 million is the highest we can go. Donovan Mitchell's making 32.9. I don't know if this is possible, but we're going to try. Funny because he's on the same team as Ja. If we throw in Dylan Harper and AJ Debonsa, we still have to make up 1 mil. But I think we found the perfect guy. Jamal Murray's making $31 million and he's familiar with our team. So if we throw in both guys, it still doesn't match. 83K off. But I can throw them Isaiah Thomas to make this trade work. I feel like we're getting absolutely fleeced here. So let me just test the waters and see how many firsts we can get out of this, if any at all. We're not going to be able to get 3. We're not going to be able to get 2, but we can at least get 1. So now we have the best 9-man lineup in the NBA. Off our bench, we have Jamal Murray as our backup point guard, him and Brandon Miller as our backup shooting guard. Brandon Miller and Scotty Barnes can run the backup small forward. Scotty and Chet can both run backup power forward, and then Chet can run the center. Last season, we were able to win 77 games. It would not surprise me if we're better this season. Luka's going to win another MVP, averaging 19 and 15. Darren Peterson wins the Rookie of the Year. Donovan Mitchell's going to win the 6th man. He's behind Ja. We could have had him. And we're somehow worse than last year, winning 76 games. In round 1, we have to play the Cavs, who still have Kyrie. We're going to sweep them. Round 2, we have to play a duo of Jokic and Jabari Smith. That did scare me a tiny bit, but we're going to sweep. I thought we were going to lose 1 game. Now we have to play the Sixers team. They look really overpowered. power. But we are one of the best teams of all time. Game 1, we win by 12. Game 2, we win by 20. Game 3, we're going to win by 14, and we're going to sweep them. So in the finals, we either have to play a duo of Trae Young and KD or Steph Curry and Porzingis. And 3 years ago, we swept KD. Now we have to face him again. Game 1, we're going to take by 14 points. Game 2, we win by just 5. Game 3, we win by 29. And unfortunately for KD, we have the same outcome as Paul George becomes an 8-time champion. And Luka's going to break the record for finals MVPs, winning his 7th. And good thing we traded all those young guys away, because Paul George is going to retire after 17 seasons with 8 championships and 8 All-Star games. He's going to finish his career with over 20,000 points. He's just outside the top 20 in three-pointers made, and he's going to go down in history with the 3rd most championships of all time. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you want to see me save LeBron's legacy, click the video on the screen right now.